So we got something new on the doorstep. I thought I was done with portable PA, battery operated, but here we go again. Let's get into it. This is pretty much brand new on the market, the Alto Busker. As you can see, made in China, displayed in big letters. We're going to skip the unboxing and get right into this video. This video is going to be a comparison of the new Alto Busker compared to the legacy Bose S1 Pro. So I want to make that clear that this isn't the S1 Pro Plus we're talking about, which is at a higher price level. I want to say right off the bat, there'll be no sound demo. That will be part 2. So this will mainly be dealing with specs and a comparison. So let's get into it. So here is the little upstart challenging the longtime champion, the Bose S1 Pro. It's been out for a number of years. Let's see what new technology could bring to the table. So we're going to do some plus and minuses, and then you as the buyer can decide what is important for you. I'm a visual learner myself, so I'm going to be putting some chess pieces on the floor, and that'll help us count, and we'll see like a visual bar graph at the end, who is, as far as features, which one has more tally marks as we keep track. But I want to emphasize that the part 2 video, the sound demo, A being these two against each other, will be the real test. Because in my opinion, sound is number one. But so this is like Frazier versus Ali, Ford versus Chevy. This is the battle of the century. Here we go. So keep in mind, this is the Bose S1 Pro, which has been out since 2018. There's a new model called the Bose S1 Pro Plus, which is very different at a much higher price range, $650. So we're not really going to be talking about that. Let's talk about the legacy model or the original model. So the Alto, right off the bat, has a nice app that's missing from the Bose S1 Pro. The S1 Pro has a very basic app. It does have a battery percentage, which I like on their Bose app, and it allows you to pair 2 speakers wirelessly. But the Alto is much more entailed. It has, you can adjust reverb, of course gain, positioning of the speaker, all from a distance. So I really like the app in my own case, and I should mention this right off the bat for my new viewers. I am not an acoustic guitarist that many singer-songwriters would be interested in this type of speaker. I mainly use these light speakers as a recreational speaker that I use because I'm just looking for my lightest speaker that I can pick up and go. I usually in the backyard a lot, go to the park, the beach, but I'm also a drummer. That's my main instrument. I'm not a vocalist, and so I could use these speakers as a small battery-powered monitor also in a live situation. Okay, so right off the bat, so there's one tally mark or 1 point for the Alto, the app. And I need to mention right off the bat also that the app has mid control that the Bose never has. Even in their new updated Pro Plus model, they still don't have mids control, which it's bewildering to me. I don't know why, and other people mention it, that's mids is very important to tailor. Okay, let's go on to the Bose S1 Pro Plus there. It has a 120 degree throw, and that, or degree dispersion. And that means to the left and the right, that speaker will fill a larger audience, a larger space, one speaker, than the Alto. Now the Alto doesn't give the spec on their website. I'm assuming it's probably your normal small PA speaker, which is about 90 degrees. So we got 90 degrees compared to 120. Some people actually don't like the 120. They think it's too much, but that's, again, personal preference. Now, I mentioned the Bose missing the mid-range control, but the Bose has a very nice mid-range though. I call it the Bose house sound. And so that, if you like that particular sound, you're a Bose fanboy, as they say, and you will prefer Bose. But other people like a different sound signature. So again, when you're picking speakers, it's really important to listen in person if you can. not just on a YouTube video. And so you pick what your ear enjoys the most. Okay, here's another plus for the Alto that is greatly lacking for many, many years to this day, and that is the Alto has a master volume control. For some reason, Bose has never put the master volume control. I do have the Bose Pro 32, which is a $3,300 system, and guess what? It does not have a master volume control. So the rationale, I believe, is they want you to buy their mixer. Their cheapest mixer is the T4, and it's $800, and that has a master volume control. So what is master volume control? So you have your two channels. Maybe I have on channel 1 vocals, channel 2 guitar, channel 3 maybe I'm playing some backing tracks on Bluetooth, and I have to adjust on the Bose each one individually. Where on the Alto, when you have a master volume control, I could raise and lower the gain all in one with one dial. Very, very important, and many people point this out as lacking in the Bose. So what else? Okay, on the Alto we have another plus, and that is on the output to a subwoofer or another aux speaker. We have an XLR out, which I prefer. To me, that's a plus. Bose has the 1/4 inch out. And I just like XLR because many people have an XLR cable hanging around, more handy. And to me, it's also a more secure connection in case someone trips on it. Alto also has an RCA out, which personally I wouldn't use, but if you're connecting maybe a home sub, that would work. And of course, if you're a DJ, a lot of DJ controllers have their controllers are RCA, so that would be a plus in their book. Going back to the Bose, physical dials. I call that repeatability. So the dials, you can see them clearly. Let me turn the speakers around and you'll see what I'm talking about. So here we're looking at the back of the Alto, and if you look at the channel 1, channel 2, volume controls, there's the main volume I was talking about. There are no hash marks or indents to tell you where you are, or I call it repeatability, to come back the next day and know exactly where you are. Everything is done through the app. To me, this is a really big downside, and the app isn't that great either. It has like a slider, and again, there's no percentage to know exactly where you're at. If you want to adjust the volume from the speaker itself, and you want to know where you're at, you have to press one button, and then you dial the other one with your other hand, and then it comes in increments for 25%. So it jumps from 50% to 75, which I'm not crazy about. Okay, so that's definitely a weakness on the Alto. And here's the plus on the Bose S1 Pro I'm talking about. You have your traditional dials, but because you don't control things through the app. And from the traditional dials, they do have the hash mark. So I see 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And I really like that. And you can leave it there and you come back the next day and everything is set. Also, I do want to mention something about the app on the Alto that's kind of annoying. That is, every time I use the speaker, I have to bring down the master volume and my Bluetooth volume and the channel volumes to 0. Because when the speaker boots up in a very loud AI voice, it'll say, power on, Bluetooth connected. And of course, my wife screams from upstairs, turn that down. I haven't even played anything yet, and she's screaming, turn it down. And then, of course, it wakes up the baby. Yeah, my baby's 17 years old, wakes her up. She's talking to her boyfriend. And so that's really a downside, that every time you power down the speaker, you got to bring it down to 0. Kind of a pain. So I'm keeping track so you don't have to. So I'm using these chess pieces as form of tally marks, making a bar graph. So the Alto now has 4 points to the 3 for the Bose. Okay, so the Alto, again, being a newer speaker, newer technology. The Bose came out in 2018. It's 5 years. 5 years is pretty ancient in the tech world. The Alto has 14 reverbs that can be controlled right from the back of the unit. And that's pretty nice. They're not all very different. So I could use about 3 or 4 or 5 of them. But on the other hand, in comparison, Bose has only 1. Of course, many singer-guitarists like the Bose reverb. Don't ask me the quality of the reverb, because that's not my field. I can only talk about how it sounds on a snare drum. Next, battery power. The Bose has the advantage of having a quick charge, which is real nice. It can charge up in 4.5 hours, where the Alto is, I guess it's a trickle charge, snail pace, at 12 hours. So that's definitely a plus in the Bose category. But on the other hand, on the Bose, it has a funky way to know how much battery you have. When you turn on the power, it blinks, and you have to count how many times it blinks, and I guess 3 blinks equals 75%. I never even use it. It's just too frustrating to do it. So to me, for me to use the Bose battery indicator status, I have to go to my app, which is nice, and then it gives you a digital readout, 85%, 90, which is good, but that should be on the unit itself. So the Alto, it is on the unit itself. It goes in increments of 100, 75, 50, and 25, and it's very visible, and I like it. I think it's the definite plus. Okay, another plus for the Alto, Bluetooth 5.0 compared to the Bose, which is the older tech 4.2, Bluetooth 4.2. So the 5.0 has 100 feet distance. Not that I ever measured that, but the 4.2 is 71 feet. So 71 feet is pretty good in my book. But if you really need that maximum Bluetooth, then the Alto with the 5.0. Going back to the Bose, you have a high pass setting on the S1 if you do go with the sub 1 or sub 2. I always recommend sticking with the Bose, matching them up because of that high pass feature. USB charge port. The Bose does not have that. And again, all the new speakers are going with this. I know the Everse 8, I believe. No, the JBL Compact has 2 charge ports, USB. And the little Alto does have a charge port, which is nice to charge your tablet, a phone. And the Bose does not have that. Okay, now this could be a deal breaker right now. You know, some of these are deal breakers where someone might just say, well, if the other speaker doesn't have that, I'm not interested. And that is the Bose S1 Pro has a removable user battery. So I know from my personal use, I have 2 batteries. I have one in the unit and then spare battery all charged up. You do need a little screwdriver to get it out. It takes about 5 minutes. But I can keep going on with a spare battery. Alto, big downside, maybe a deal breaker. There is not a usable replaceable battery, and it has 6 Phillip head screws. I haven't even opened it up to look. I'm sure you can probably get the battery on Amazon, but it's definitely a hassle. Of course, people who don't want to go through Amazon, then they would have to send the unit back to Alto, and we're really talking about a downer there. So, usable, removable battery is a big, big plus in my point for the Bose. Talking about the Bose reliability. The Alto is a very new unit. I mentioned the Bose has been out for a while, so I don't know anything about how this speaker is going to last. I do know that Alto, because of the cheaper price point, some people will point out they use parts that maybe will last. Sounds great for two or 3 years, but will it last the long haul for gigging and something like QSC that gives you a 6-year warranty? Maybe Alto doesn't have that quality. I don't know because I'm a new Alto user. Weight. I always love the Bose S1 Pro because it's super light, featherweight, 16 pounds. But the Alto is just so much lighter. Not so much lighter, but it's 4 pounds lighter. 12 pounds. It's a real featherweight. And then size. I mean, the size is only 1 inch difference in height and width. But, even 1 inch makes a difference. If you're trying to pack it in a bag, I know I've seen on the web that someone bought 2 Altos and they fit it in a tote bag, a Gator tote bag that's for an 8-inch speaker, and they had 2 of these little Altos in there. Really nice. You can't do that with the Bose. And then let's talk about the price. The Alto is right now the least expensive speaker out there as far as battery PA. I bought it for $350. But you can get a pair of them for $600 at DJ Now. They're selling them for a pair, I guess. I'm not affiliated with them, so don't think I'm getting any money from that deal. And the Bose has been lowered. I purchased it for $600 back in the time, and now it's down to $500. And of course, the Bose S1 Pro Plus is $650, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. That's a different price category. So we have a $500 compared to $350. Of course, price is important. And again, that could be a deal breaker for some people. Let's talk about sound signature. I have not done much sound testing yet. As I said, that's coming up in part 2. But what I've heard so far, and that is the Alto has a very nice high end. It has a dedicated 1-inch tweeter that the Bose does not have. Bose has 3 small mid-range drivers. They don't have a tweeter. And that gives a rolled off sound. Matter of fact, the specs show it. The Alto goes up to 20 Hz, which is pretty much your standard frequency response for PA speakers. But the Bose is rolled off. It goes up to 17 only, and I can hear it. But that's the Bose sound. That's the house sound. Some people love that smoother sound, mid-range, less fatiguing, more hi-fi sounding. So it's really a personal preference. Do you like a really bright, clean sound? Well, the Alto would fall in that category. Or do you like the more smooth Bose house sound? Battery. The battery is, they're claiming, again, I haven't tested this, the Alto, they're claiming 24 hours. Gee, I don't know about you, but I don't really play too many gigs for 24 hours, but it's nice. But then I mentioned that trickle charge. It takes forever to charge it, where the Bose is more of your traditional battery PA, about 11 hours. So that could be a deal breaker right there. If maybe someone needs that long battery life, you go for the Alto. Tone match dials. That's a Bose feature. Only Bose has tone match. Again, that's for guitarists, acoustic guitarists, and vocalists. I never use it, but there's a little switch there, and supposedly that could change the sound of your guitar or vocals. Of course, on the new S1 Pro, they have many different settings. That's a real big jump in quality, but this does have the basic tone match in the S1 Pro. Okay, what else can we talk about? On the Alto, the power, again, I have not done any max volume testing. I'm planning on doing that. The spec is saying 106 dB, which is pretty good. And the Bose S1 Pro is 103 dB. So 3 dB difference from my own testing of other speakers. 3 dB difference is about adding a second speaker. So that means 2 Bose S1 Pros would be about as loud as 1 Alto. Again, don't hold me to that. I have not done my own testing. But 3 dB is a audible difference. When you get to 6 dB difference, it sounds twice as loud, but in actuality, you need 10 dB to actually be twice as loud on a recording devices. So there's our bar graph, our tally marks growing. Alto in the lead. Another thing that I like about the Alto is the fact that on the Bluetooth channel 3, you can EQ it through the app. And I like that, again, because I mainly use a speaker like this for playing tracks. And I told you about the mid-range control, so I like to boost that mids a little. You can't do that with the Bose. There is no EQ on the Bluetooth channel. And lastly, last but not least, something I, again, am finding as a big plus. Since I'm a drummer, I play electronic roll-in drum pads. You can check out some of those videos. And that is my drum pad. It really doesn't produce a lot when you just plug it straight into a speaker like this. It's kind of, you have to turn it up to maximum. But the Alto has a mic line switch. So when I hit that mic switch, it really jumps the gain. It really jumps the volume. And I'm finding that a big plus for my situation. Bose, they both have combo jacks, but Bose doesn't recognize any mic, has a mic switch. They just recognize a XLR mic connection, and that would boost the power for a mic. So there we go. Let's add up these tally marks and see our winner as far as features. Remember, we're not talking about sound right now. You know, physical dials is really a factor for a giggy musician, acoustic guitarist sitting on a stool with the speaker next to him at ear level, where they can just reach over and boost a little bass or cut the bass or add a little more treble, where again, the Alto, you have to go through the app. Personally for me, since I'm not using these speakers in a gigging situation, just as I mentioned, just a recreational speaker, it really doesn't matter. Going through the app is fine. Here we go again. I forgot something else. By the way, here are the speakers in the monitor position. Both speakers could be used for that function. But I forgot, going to this Alto, there's a battery standby feature. They call it eco mode. So I guess that's how you get your full 24 hours. So when your battery is starting to die and you're in the middle of a party or a gig, you can, if you turn down the volume, not at max volume, you can save some battery. But here is something probably more important, and that is the Alto, which the Bose doesn't have, excuse me, has phantom power off and on. Again, that is a setting for certain microphones that gigging musicians find important. Bose does not have that. Again, the tally marks will be slightly different at the end, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference when you see the end results. So here are the results, adding up the tally marks using the chess pieces. We have a checkmate. Alto, 16 points. Bose, 9. So we have an upset. I wasn't expecting these results. The Alto has some really nice features, but again, some of the missing features might be a deal breaker for you. You, the purchaser, have to decide. But this was an interesting comparison. I'm working on the next video, part 2, which will be the real test, and that is the sound test. So is the Alto a Bose killer? Well, I can't say yes or no. As far as features, that's up to you. But as far as when I hear the sound, then I will make my decision. I'm definitely keeping both. I like them both for different reasons. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Bill. Later.